Hey, good morning. So we've spent the past month really dedicating a lot of time into working to understand principles associated with activation and recovery. Right now when we don't have everything, all tools at our disposal, it's really important to break things down to the principle level. Continuing to talk about recovery, especially for different types of stress. Today I want to talk about and have a conversation about different types of metabolic stress and activities that may cause more neural stress or stress on my central nervous system. So when we think about metabolic stress could be what we experience following a heavy volume day, maybe a day that has a lot of conditioning, days that are extremely hot where I'm sweating a lot, okay, and I'm having to really tap into my resources to produce energy for my activity. A lot of times as an athlete, if I'm looking at an RPE scale, I could potentially think that my metabolic days where I'm conditioning are much more challenging in the moment. Okay, sometimes these periods of time are on a stopwatch. They're designed to target the metabolic pathways that are common within your sport, or at least the metabolic pathways that progress to put you in position to be successful with your sport. We can also think about competition being involved in this too, but things that are metabolically demanding are basically taking resources or the fuel that we have stored and putting them and allocating them to produce energy or movement. Okay, so that's metabolic stress. Other type of stress is our neural stress, and we can think about that are activities or events, exercises or actions that may elicit a massive response within my central nervous system. Okay, I want you to think about this as like your pop. Okay, so your pop. Things that cause this are heavy or powerful movements. It could be multi-joint movements like a clean from various positions, jumps, med ball throws potentially, heavy squats of different types. Okay, things that are eliciting a massive impact on my central nervous system. Speed work. Okay, it's really hard to compare to the demands of speed work, especially top-end velocity. You cannot replicate top-end velocity, okay, without sprinting. Okay, so speed work has a massive impact on my central nervous system or my pop. Contact and competition can come in here also. So now when you think about this and you're looking at the two and the differences between two, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle if we're thinking about principles associated with how we recover from the two. And we're basically going to make sure that we start with what we talk about always with our nutrition staff, and that's refueling and rehydrating. Okay, and what that's going to do is allow us to be able to replenish stores of energy that we used on this side. It's going to allow us to rehydrate from maybe some of the sweating that I did that lost fluids, that lost electrolytes that can help me transport energy at the cellular level. But basically that's going to fill my fuel tank back up. The second thing we can do is really push parasympathetic. Okay, if you remember in the past we talked about what sympathetic versus parasympathetic, or sympathetic being gas pedal and parasympathetic being brake pedal. Following exercise, following training, following competition or practice, we want to slow down. We want to push parasympathetic and be able to recover for the next bout of activity. Okay? And then finally, what we want to do to make sure that we're in a good position for the next event is maintain a consistent schedule. Our body operates through a ton of different processes, and many of these are managed by hormones. Hormones love consistency and routine. That's going to help me with my sleep, it's going to help me with my recovery, and it's going to help me with my activation the next opportunity I have to train or compete. Okay, so breaking down different types of stress, we have metabolic stress and we have neural stress. Different activities elicit a different type of stress, but when we boil things down to just the principle level, we can really focus on refueling and rehydrating to make sure we take care of this side. we can really work on pushing the brake pedal and slowing down, disconnecting, being able to do things that works for me. And then finally, maintaining a consistent schedule in everything I do, and it's going to really help me in the long term. Hope everybody's doing great. Can't wait to see everybody soon. Take care.